Hey, welcome back to Weenie Trades. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a lot of crypto and a lot of stocks, so be sure to use the description and use the chapters to find which crypto or stock you want broken down. And without further ado, first up, we've got Matic USD. So Matic, really good move higher all the way up to 280 and then got absolutely clapped down to 60 cents. Now we have a little bit of an EQ going. So we have our high, low. Now it looks like we put in a lower high right here at about $1.80, $1.80. And look at these bottom wicks. So similar to other crypto, are we going to bear flag and break down? And that would bring Matic USD back down to about $1 to maybe 80 cents. Or is this going to be the potential higher low pivot? I'm a little bit more bullish than bearish on Matic, so this could be the higher low pivot on Matic, and we could start to break outwards and make higher highs and higher lows. So Matic, bullish for certainly above $1.50 and slightly short-term bearish underneath $1.30. Everything in between is just more chop chop and chart vibration to potentially break to the upside or to the downside. Again, bullish long-term. I do own a little bit of Matic in my Coinbase portfolio. It's about 6%, very, very small on the Polygon network for me. So Matic, pretty good. We'll see where it is likely headed. And I'm just going to set my alert above $1.47, add alert. And then there we go, create. And then let's get into the next crypto. Next up, we've got Ethereum. And by the way, each of these will be broken down on the daily time frame. So each candle represents 1 day of price action. I generally prefer to swing trade and invest in crypto, not day trade it. However, in the future, there might be some crypto streams that I'll do on Saturday. You can watch me swing trade crypto, where I'm placing my stops, where I'm entering, and where I might be looking to potentially take some profits. But Ethereum had a beautiful bull flag right over here. This is the sexiest bull flag of 2021. Beautiful sideways consolidation, beautiful breakout with continued follow through. But we were saying, hey, probably going to pull back first because it doesn't have enough energy to just bust through all-time highs. Whenever you kind of have a bull flag like that, but there's resistance, generally you would expect it to hit the resistance. But now we've just back tested the former breakout area, so we broke out from here. If you missed on the way out, you can catch on the way back in. We back tested it, found a great little wick. That was based off the crypto crash last week. And we're still holding. So as long as Ethereum is above this breakout level, 33.32, we could see Ethereum new all-time highs in the next coming weeks and or months. If Ethereum starts to break down underneath 3,000, it just may need to consolidate a little bit more. So watch that 3,000 level on Ethereum. I think that the dip buy on Ethereum is right here, right now, but we'll see. Time will tell. Otherwise, there's some further price levels, 2,600, that I would love to potentially grab a dip on. And then lastly, down to about 2,300. So those are the dip buys in my personal opinion for Ethereum. You wouldn't want Ethereum coming underneath 1,700. Something would be up if Ethereum, something sketchy is up if Ethereum is breaking that 1,700. So bullish on Ethereum. One of my bigger holdings is Ethereum. So over 20% of my crypto portfolio, which by the way, my crypto portfolio is a very small percentage of my overall investment portfolio and trading portfolios, just because it's a newer market and it's very, very volatile. So I'm not going to go too heavy into crypto. By the way, also check out Coinbase, link in the description. If you use my referral and you want to actually own these coins, then check out the referral link below. I think we each get like $10 worth of Bitcoin. So shameless plug right there. Thanks for tuning in on this wonderful video. So that's Ethereum, bullish long term, looks like to be a great potential buy right now, and if not, 2,600, and then all the way down to maybe 22, 2,300. Would not want Ethereum to break this little triple bottom down here at 1,800. So Ethereum, much stronger crypto relative to Bitcoin and other crypto. Next up, we've got ADA or Cardano, and Cardano is actually my largest holding. It's very high growth, higher risk, but higher growth. And Cardano, it's relatively strong, and it's my largest holding because it's relatively strong. It's breaking out, just made new all-time highs out of that 3.0. So whatever starts to make all-time highs tends to continue to make all-time highs. However, we're a little bit up there on Cardano. I mean, we did a little breakout, we back tested it, okay, we confirmed it, and now we're going back up. So Cardano looks pretty bullish. I would love to get a dip buy at $1.56 if we could ever get that again, $1.56. And that's just top one, top two, top three. breakout, held it as support. Oh, it was resistance, but yeah, we just broke out. So if we missed on the way out, if Cardano's coming back into that $1.56, I would love to buy some more. Otherwise, I'd need Cardano to just go sideways a little bit longer before buying it again. I have the majority of my position kind of built out. And of course, I'm doing probably something different with my crypto than you're doing with your crypto, but just as potential ideas of what to do with these cryptos. But ADA, bullish. It's going to run into some resistance at that 2.80. Although if Cardano's breaking and holding above 3, well, it could just be yet another breakout. When crypto gets these breakouts, they can really run and continue to run for quite a while. Overbought can get more overbought, just as oversold can get more oversold. So crypto can potentially trend a little bit more. Bullish ADA, would love to get those deeper dip buys. Otherwise, it needs to go sideways in my personal opinion. Next up, we've got SOL USD, and boy, what a parabolic run this thing has gone on. First of all, I'm seeing this beautiful flag pattern as well. Perfect angle, perfect chart vibration, beautiful breakout on an increase in volume, and geez, SOL has just gone on a tear. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations to anybody that's caught this. I have not had SOL, any of SOL in my portfolio, but boy, this thing's been performing very well. So now that it's been performing well, if everybody's talking about it, that might be a little bit too late. However, we've gone straight up. If we go straight up, we can go straight down. So that's something to think about. However, the last few days, remember each candle represents one full day. We've got some bottoming wicks. It means there's some takers here in the 170s area. But just because there's some takers in the 170s and 180s doesn't mean that that's going to exactly hold and then we just break out to more new all-time highs. What I would love to see is how it reacts down here at the 150 level. So I'm going to set an alert on SOL at 150. If we start to hold and start to potentially curl up, I'm just going to put these alerts just over here. We'll see if we can, I'm still learning TradingView and seeing how the alerts might be going through. But that $150 on SOL looks to be like the potential dip buy to me, especially if we start to curl and hold higher. Otherwise, if this can go sideways for a lot longer, then I am interested in the breakout. But let's say it starts to be green right again. What might happen is because it's too extended, it might just be green and then snap back harshly. There can be some really big snapbacks in the crypto world, and you're buying a lot of risk if you're buying something after you've noticed it's gone up a lot. However, though, the trend is your friend. It's still in an uptrend and still killing it. Again, watching to see how we react at that 150. All the way down to potentially at 135 on SOL. Next up, we've got the mother of our cryptos, Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, boy, what a nasty sell-off last week. You know, we hit it. We hit that supply zone and nastily sold off. And if you watch some of my previous videos, I was saying, you're buying a lot of risk if you're buying Bitcoin, anything above 48,000 after such a great run off the lows. That's not how you want to be doing things. You want to be buying at support or just as it breaks resistance. So I think that a valid entry for Bitcoin was over that 40K, but 50K, 52K, a little bit sketchy. Of course, it depends on what your goals are when we're investing in these cryptos. Is it a day trade, swing trade, or an investment? I just like to invest in these things because crypto can be a little bit erratic at some points. So Bitcoin, we had that nasty sell-off. I'm looking for on Bitcoin if we could get one more just little drop just down into about that 40K. Because remember, if you missed it on the way out, you can always catch it on the way back in. You can always buy it on the way back out and on the way back in as well. So Bitcoin looking for the dip buy at about 40K, 40 to 41K. Otherwise, if you want to, you can catch it as it's starting to curl back up, 47K. Again, I'm bullish on Bitcoin long term. Bitcoin is a part of my portfolio. Bitcoin's about 30% of my crypto portfolio, and it just makes sense. It's the mother of all the cryptos. Bitcoin, really bullish. If we can get above that breakdown candle high though, 52K, then we could see much higher prices. I am in the boat that we do see a Bitcoin at least 100K in the next few years, maybe 3 to 5 years. It might do it in less. It might take more. But I am one of those bulls in the bull camp. It's just a matter of potentially time. And of course, if Bitcoin, just like all the other cryptos, if we start breaking this kind of like this cluster down here at about 27K, I would really start to question Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptos Obviously, we're above that level, so we don't need to question it just yet, or at least I don't need to question it just yet. But Bitcoin, bullish long term. Would love to grab that dip buy at 41K. There's also a decent value area at 36K, and that could be a potential support level. But yeah, me short term to medium term, I wouldn't want even Bitcoin coming underneath 36K. Anyways, though, Bitcoin, bullish long term. We'll see if we hold this level and if this is a bear flag, a drop, base, drop, or if it's a drop and then this is the higher low and then we curl on upwards and hold and then continue into potentially all-time highs into 2022. Next up, we've got Uni, and Uni, a little bit weaker relative to the other crypto. What I mean by that is we have our high and we have our low, and right here we're kind of just hanging out in the lower third of that range from the high to the low. Whenever you're doing that, it's like, yeah, it's a little bit weaker than the other cryptos. However, if we can hold right here, that would be great. So we're right at this support level. And why do I know that this is a support level? Well, I'm looking at this recent cluster right here. Do you see that? We moved up, cluster, we break out. Now we're holding right at that previous cluster. You've got to hand it short term to the bulls. What I don't like about this, though, is on all these days, we've got bottom wicks, but we've also got top wicks. So sellers are selling Uni down and buyers are buying Uni up. Which way are we going to break? Well, if you're looking for a little short-term breakout, you'd want Uni to break out above this 25.29 level. And the reason for that is this was a previous level of support, and now it may be a strong level of resistance. Do you see that? Hold support, bounce, hold support, bounce, hold support, bounce. Yay! Break support. Now it's going to be some resistance. So yeah, I'd be bullish a little bit bullish if we could get above that, but this looks to be a little bit more neutral to bearish based on that we're still beneath this strong support level, which was a support. Now it's going to be a really strong resistance from the bottom side. So bearish underneath 22, slightly bullish above 26, much more bullish if we can break above this top range. And even this breakdown candle right about here, this is a breakdown candle, call it 30. So super bullish above 30, neutral from 22 to 26. So this whole area is neutral, and then bearish underneath 22 for Uni. Our last crypto that I'll be breaking down is Luna. And Luna USD, honestly, looks almost like pretty much like the best chart that I've seen out of all these cryptos. And why do I say that? Well, look, we just started to break out of this really long consolidation pattern. We were stuck in this range for quite a while, and yay, we finally got above it. That means, hey, we're actually potentially making a new range. So we broke out on Luna, and now we're starting to back test it. And there's not aggressive selling after the breakout, and if there isn't aggressive selling after the breakout, it increases the odds that it's going to hold, and we could continue to make new all-time highs. So Luna, really bullish as long as we're really holding above, what's the most frequently touched cluster over here? I'm going to grab this little area. This area seems to be important, 30.74. So as long as Luna's above 30.74, I've got to remain extremely bullish. I question it. We might get a little bit more consolidation if we're beneath that 30.74, and we might just need to zigzag a little bit. And this wick right here should be a low, in my personal opinion, on Luna USD. And that wick right there, call it about 21. You would not want Luna coming underneath 21. That could be a recapture, and Luna might just zigzag and go sideways to slightly lower. But that's the least likely scenario based off what I'm seeing right now. Right now, Luna looks to be bullish, especially if we're holding above that 30.74. And ideally, you'd want it to hold above 34.56. Do you see that right here? 34.56. That's just the top end range of the breakout. So there's a lot of muck over here. Lots of chances for Luna to hold, and the future looks bright for Luna. Next up, we're going to go into the stock analysis section of the video. So I'm just going to be breaking these down on Thinkorswim as they have my charts and my little settings. So PG, Procter & Gamble, I know you were asking about potentially puts or put options or put debit spreads on PG. And I would say PG does not look bearish. It doesn't look extremely bullish. We can see that we made a high over here at 147 with a nasty tail candle. Do you see that? Oh, nasty, close right at the low. Something weird must have happened that day. But now we're starting to flirt with those highs and we're just kind of consolidating. We can see that our high points are that, 146 to 147, and our low points are down there at about 141. So I'd be bearish only underneath 141. I'd be bullish above 146. Now, market conditions can affect this pretty greatly. So if the SPY is absolutely getting clapped and, selling off, and we see SPY down here at 440, then yeah, we're going to see PG also probably down there in the 140s range. But remember, when we're buying puts or put debit spreads, we're still long premium. So when we're long premium, we need stocks to absolutely tank. And since PG is kind of like a dividend aristocrat, PG, people are going to be holding on to it probably a little bit more, and it'll be tougher to absolutely tank. So PG, some option strategies may be better than others. I would say you could potentially go with bear call credit spreads, BCC, and sell something just at the money. Sell a call at the money and buy a call just above the market to protect. And then you can collect money as PG goes sideways, or if it tanks, you still make money. You just don't make as much money had you had a put option. So PG, kind of just neutral in my opinion. Next up, we've got Walmart, and Walmart short term does look a little bit more bearish, as in, look, we've got all these topping wicks over here, and we started to sell off, and we put in a high, a lower high, yet another lower high, and a confirmed lower low. Walmart, there's a lot of support on Walmart in the 144s area. And again, similar to Procter & Gamble, how much is this going to unwind? People are just holding on to Walmart for the dividends. Retail, this type of retail sector is performing very well. If we just check out something like Target's, hanging out not exactly at all-time highs, but it's holding up pretty strong. If we look at Costco's just been a beast, absolute monster ever since this long consolidation breakout. So Costco and Walmart and Target, not the best areas to short if you ask me. I think you could get a better bang for your buck. I'd say there's a dip buy at that 143 area. Otherwise, there's a potential breakout if we could break this downtrend line. Maybe we get above, 150 again on Walmart, and we have volume coming in. But Walmart, leaning that it's probably just going to zigzag, go sideways to slightly lower, and probably come into that 143 level. PG and Walmart were potential examples of stocks that you might not want to short, in my opinion, because it might be tough for them to unwind. But KSS, Kohl's looks like a stock that I might actually want to short, more so because I also don't like them fundamentally. But if we look at the stock chart, we just came into some really strong resistance. So we made a higher high, failed. Higher low, higher high, failure. So big failure at this level. And look, we came all the way to it from the bottom side, and we hit resistance. So I'd be a little bit more bearish on KSS than bullish, and I'd expect the stock to probably find its way back into the lower 40s, in my opinion. And that's just based off the way the chart is forming. We failed to break out, we snap back in. That in and itself is a very strong signal of a reversal right over here. And look, we've pitter-pattered, went sideways to slightly lower. We got a recent run, and then after the earnings report, we've done nothing but sell off. Usually momentum after an earnings report tends to continue. So KSS, aggressively, you could take the breakdown underneath, 51, 58. Otherwise, I would like to short KSS if we ever got a bounce up to that 53.33 level. And what's great about that is I can use this breakdown candle high as a potential stop loss. So my stop loss on that short trade would probably be above 54.13. Now, of course, you could be bullish KSS, and that's completely fine. If you're bullish, you'd want it to be holding above at least 60, because that means we've taken out all of these sellers earlier. So that's KSS. Next up, we've got Rost, and I believe that the last time I broke this down, I said it was bearish, and since then we've just done nothing but sell off, and so it still looks more bearish than bullish to me. I mean, we could be nearing some support. I mean, clearly you can see that the low points are this 110 area, and we can see that the high points are this 126 area, and we started to break down from the lower portion end of the range. So are we going to find some more support? It's tough to say, but it looks like it wants to come down to that 105 area, especially since each candle has been closing near the lows. Buyers are just can't win on this stock. And so Rost, I'd be expecting this to go sideways to slightly lower. And even if it bounces, it's likely to hit its head and run into resistance. Would not be bullish until we get at least above 125. But still, ROST, yeah, if we look at the weekly time frame, again, a rollover formation. This is a head and shoulders on the weekly time frame. Again, the right shoulders and the left shoulders aren't perfect. The pattern doesn't have to be exactly perfect. What's important is the concept behind the pattern. Have we had the attempt to break out into new all-time highs, or have we failed and lost momentum? So it's a loss of momentum type of pattern, and usually ROST probably might come down to this former breakout area down to about 95, and that can be accelerated if there's a market pullback or market correction. Next up, we've got CLOV, Clove, and Clove. We had that pump and dump. We warned about Clove possibly absolutely getting clapped when it was up there at about 28 and 29. Go watch Weenie Trades live, and boy, those people that were warned ahead of time, they were able to get out and make some really good money on that squeeze and be out of it as Clove just starts to absolutely tank. So Clove, we were looking for that extra little pump. We talked about this. We moved higher, zigzag, and then, yeah, we had a breakout, and we had a beautiful breakout. And I said, lots of resistance in the 1060s to 11. And boy, 11.14 was the high, and now we've reversed strongly. So Clove, extremely bearish, had a horrible Friday, down 7.73%. Boy, this looks like a potential short to me based off the chart. Which is so sad because, fundamentally, it doesn't seem like too bad of a company. But I like to go with the chart over the fundamentals because the chart tends to work more often than the fundamentals. I mean, take a look at GameStop and AMC. GameStop, fundamentally should not be up this high, but yet it can still have an amazing, amazing run. So Clove, I'd be bearish, especially since Friday we closed at the lows. Usually that means we have a little bit of continuation to the downside. I'd look for potential support on Clove at about 8, maybe a spike of 8, but if Clove is green or anything of that sort, I think it's a potential short. If it's coming into 929 again, that might be a potential short. Otherwise, I'd just stay away from Clove. It's likely going to just zigzag, and volume is likely going to dry up like it did earlier. Look how many days Clove did absolutely nothing. So many days where Clove had just a 50 cent, 30 cent range. And so that might be another scenario with Clove. Not a lot of hype and momentum. We want to be finding and trading stocks that have high attention, high volume, and high participation. Next up, we've got M for Macy's. And Macy's broke out, tried to hold it, and then started to break down. Do you see how it tried to hold this level for so long? But sometimes if you keep hitting support, eventually those buyers start to run out. And boom, that was actually a sell setup on Macy's at about 22.50 because we hit that support. Once that support breaks, that's a sell. And you can put your stop loss above any of these pivots because it's a descending triangle. We're making lower highs, and usually the flat bottom is the one that breaks. So just like an ascending triangle, if we got higher lows and we have a flat top resistance, the flat top resistance tends to break out to the upside. So that's something to think about. Descending triangle on Macy's, getting some great follow through to the downside. There's a little bit of support at 20.38, and that just comes from this frequently hit resistance that should become support now that we're coming into it from the top side. However, if that doesn't hold, next support is 19.14, and then the gap down there at 18.11. So those are potential dip buy prices. Macy's, not my favorite company either. If you're bullish though, you'd want it to reclaim that 22.38, that support that broke down. So if we can reclaim it and hold it, then we can look for new higher highs on Macy's. Hey, if you've made it this far in the video, hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. It goes a long way. It lets you know, hey, I appreciate these videos. I'm not monetized on the Weenie Trades LLC channel yet, so I am doing this for free out of the goodness of my soul for each and every one of you. So please let me know if you enjoy that, what you like, what I can improve on, what I can do better, what you like, what you don't like. I just love having feedback so that I can adapt, just like I like to do in trading. I like to get feedback from the markets. That feedback is through my P&L. And when I do something good and it gives me more money, I want to do more of that. If I do something bad and it loses me money, I want to do less of that. So similarly, do that same thing for me on these videos. And next up, we got the juicy stocks I like. I'm going to be breaking down PLTR, Apple, Square, and NVIDIA. And then we'll call it a Sunday and get ready for the upcoming week. If you wanted to see my ETF overview, go watch Friday's video. And that's the rundown on the overall ETFs. It'll be pretty interesting this upcoming week. But without further ado, let's get into PLTR. PLTR, I am bullish on this stock. We started to break out. I said I'm bullish as long as we can hold above 25. We broke above 25. Went as high as 26.80, but just didn't have enough energy to eclipse this high at about 27.20. So PLTR, on Friday we had a little bit of a topping tail. It was still relatively strong though. The fact that PLTR was able to close up 0.57%, while the SPY was absolutely getting murdered, take him out behind the woodshed and shot a few times. It's pretty interesting to see what'll happen next week. But PLTR holding up nice and strong. I'd be extremely bullish short term if we can hold above 25.66. In fact, I think that would be a potential dip buy on Monday if we're selling off into that level. Otherwise, there's an aggressive breakout over Friday's high. If you start to work through that tail candle that we put in on Friday, this inverted tail candle, if we start to grind through that, that would be bullish. So over Friday's high could be a potential breakout, and that Friday's high is about 26.75. So over 26.75, might be interested in buying PLTR. Otherwise, there's that dip trade to be had. And I wouldn't be bearish PLTR unless we started to really come underneath 24. So that's quite a ways away, 26 down to 24, but I wouldn't be bearish until we start coming underneath that 24 level on PLTR. Next up, we've got Apple, AAPL, and Apple had a beautiful breakout earlier. Ascending triangle, we're making higher lows into the flat top resistance, and yay, boom, we broke out. Got some really good profits on that breakout. Even though it's only $7 from the 150 level, it's still a very good breakout. And, that's why you take profits into the breakout. There's no real buyable entries on Apple. We got a nasty, nasty sell-off, though, on Friday, and Apple was just getting absolutely clapped. And so it looks like Apple, with short-term negative news, Apple looks like it might want to come quite a bit lower. I think that Apple could see something like 145 this upcoming week, especially on market weakness. Short term, that would be a potential bounce, a dip buy into a bounce, but you wouldn't expect Apple to just rip to all-time highs after buying it from 145. You'd expect some turbulence, some turmoil. So if you take that 145 dip buy, which I might, I'm going to set an alert at 145.50, and we'll just see how it reacts at Weenie Trades Live at that price. But I wouldn't expect Apple to get much above 147 off of that dip buy. So this is that support. So basically I'm saying Apple, I'm expecting it clapped, but trade location is tough to short. So I'd just be looking for an oversold dip buy and then looking for a potential lower high at that 147. Again, just a hypothetical trade setup. It doesn't even have to play out like that. Keeping an eye also on these higher low trends. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low. We could have just ran right into support and ran out of time on Friday, and you'll see that if Apple's starting to curl higher. I'd be careful buying Apple, though, if it's already gapping up, because when there's candles like that and selling momentum like that, there might be a lot of people looking to just saying, get me out, get me out. So Apple, because of the nastiness of that false breakout, I would just say wait before really taking any positions on Apple. And that's just my opinion. That's just me. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Again, none of this is financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying that based off the way this is developing, it never hurts to be more patient than less patient. Next up, we've got SQ, Square stock. And if you didn't know, Square is actually is my second largest holding in my M1 Finance portfolio. And I've just been averaging up on it. And I've been bullish for quite a long time. But if you watched intra-week, I was breaking down Square. I was like, well, I'm bullish Square if we can get above that 2.275 level. And I'd be bearish Square if we can't hold that 260. And unfortunately, Square just could not hold that 260. Just not enough buyers were interested in it. And hey, it happens sometimes. Stocks can't always just break out and continue new all-time highs like they did in 2020. In 2021, things are a little bit more choppy, not much gusto. And so Square, Square looks like it wants to come down a little bit short term, especially since we broke that 260. I wanted to see how Square reacts at this breakup candle low, which is down here at 247. So again, Friday we closed right at support. Is support going to hold and we start to curl higher? If we do, 260 would be a massive, massive resistance for Square. So looking to sell or take profits on Square if I do potentially take that dip trade. Otherwise, Square looks like it might want to come down just a little bit more and go to something like 240, maybe as low as 239. If we start to get down into the 240/239 area on Square, I am looking to sell longer-term put credit spreads to defend this level. So what does that look like? If I'm going to sell puts at that level, basically I'm saying, okay, Square, I'm saying I don't think you're going to tank much lower than 240. I think you're going to zigzag and go sideways. It could even go slightly lower as long as it doesn't tank. So remember, when we're buying puts, we want the stock to tank. When we're selling puts, we just want the stock, the only thing we'd want it to do is not tank. So it can go sideways and even go slightly lower. It can go sideways, or it can go up and it can go vertical. And all of those scenarios, you make money when you're selling puts unless it absolutely tanks. But that's why selling puts is great if you do it after it's already tanked, because it's very unlikely that after something tanks, it's going to tank again. Of course, that can totally happen. It can be a big market correction, something of the scenario like that, and we can reevaluate and change my mind. But Square, bullish. But looking for that dip buy. Bullish long-term, medium-term to short-term, yeah, unfortunately bearish. It just is what it is. I can't control the market. I just adjust my positions to what the market is doing. The last stock I'll be breaking down for you today is NVIDIA. And NVIDIA, what a great stock. What a bullish stock, because look, NVIDIA having a green day even when the overall market was red on Friday. And boy, this is a bullish pattern as well. We moved higher. Ascending triangle, we got the breakout. We're holding the previous breakout level as support, holding as support, spiked it, but closed above it. That's why candle closes and time frames are very important. Sometimes time is more important than price. And look, we're holding right above that previous breakout level. That's about 222, call it 221, 222. So NVIDIA looks more bullish than it is bearish to me, because if the SPY is breaking out and moving higher, NVIDIA can absolutely pop this bull flag higher. So NVIDIA, bullish above 226 and even more, and really bullish above 230. So 230, obviously that would be all-time highs. Here's how I like to do things when I'm trading. When I see a flag setup and I love the stock and I love the trade and the market is aligning with my goals, what I like to do is I like to buy 1/3 in consolidation. So this is consolidation right here. I like to do 1/3 as we start to break out of my total position. And then what I like to do is after it's broken out, because I would have 2/3 of my position built right after it breaks out, I want to give that last third to let it pull in and hold. And I can get my last third on the former breakout area. And then boom, now I have 3 out of 3, my full position, and it's all in the money from the prior ads. And as the stock starts to break out, boom, I've got my full position built, and I've bought it at each of the key levels. And so now I have a great position as it moves higher, and I can do whatever I want. I can trail up my stop loss. I can have a hard stop loss just at a key level. And so there's tons of ways to go about it. So NVIDIA, bullish above 226.50, slightly bearish underneath 221, but even then, I would love a dip buy at 210 on NVIDIA. 210 is the previous breakout area. So high. Okay, if we come back into it, I'd love to get NVIDIA at 210. So extremely bullish on NVIDIA. So that concludes today's Sunday stock session. If you enjoyed the video and you enjoy the analysis and potentially even want to learn how I do my analysis, be sure to check out the Weenie Trades course. I spent a lot of time and I really stand by this product that I've built. Everybody loves it. Free 30-day money-back guarantee. You can see all the different lessons that you have. Tons of content. We got quizzes at the end of them to make sure that you actually understand the concepts. You can buy the Weenie Trades course. You can invest in the bundle. You can buy them separately. And here's the options section. Tons. I specialize in options trading and have been options trading for over 4 years. I've actually been options trading. You know, I started options trading my first year of trading, so it's been definitely a really long, fun, interesting journey, and I can't wait for it to continue. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the analysis, and I'll see you guys live at Weenie Trades Live. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. See ya.